Hey YouTube, so this is my review of two films. It's Paul Blart Mall Cop and Observe and Report. Before I go into any of the films, I just want to say there's one thing in Paul Blart Mall Cop that really got to me. I just think this stuff should die, and any sort of big studio that puts these in their films solely for, I don't know, for the small little people that find this kind of stuff funny, just cut it out. I don't think you need to appeal to that sort of audience anymore. It's offensive to the actors, it's offensive to people, it's offensive to everyone and anyone who watches it. This is it.
Peanut, Blart and jelly. What's up, man?
Yeah, this sort of stuff, I think, is a bygone age. Over in England, I think we were guilty of it in the 60s, 70s and even 80s, that sort of fake accent, and it's basically, it's just, no matter how you look at it, it's picking fun of a whole sort of person. I just think that we don't need that in today's films. The main reason I put these two films together is most people think they are pretty much the same film, and in many ways it is, whereas Mall Cop is more of a family light entertainment film. Observe and Report, I wouldn't recommend it for sort of younger kids. It gets a bit dark. I think Mall Cop got a lot of bad press. People expected too much of it, and I think if you go sit down, watch this film, and just, you know, want something light and just something not too serious, don't take yourself seriously, you are going to get a few laughs out of it. There's obviously the usual kind of where the studios take over and they say the same running jokes and all that kind of thing, and that's where it ruins it. Studios ruin films nowadays. There's too much criteria going on, and this film, I reckon, probably was a very good idea, and then the studios took over and basically crammed too much studio crap into it. So Paul Blart Mall Cop, if you don't expect too much from it, you're going to get laughs out of it. Kevin James, being a sort of a lovable character, pushes it through, and I think it works. I think the people who don't like it expect too much of it, and that's it. So basically, Paul Blart is about a mall cop who wants to make it into the police force and can't because of certain health reasons. It shows his sort of day-to-day life. Obviously there's a love interest who he basically wants to impress. The mall gets taken over by criminals, and it's basically his fight, so it shows how it deals with it. There are quite a few cool stunts in it, which I think sort of set it aside from some studio comedies. Like there's extreme runners and skaters and all that kind of thing, which adds excitement to it. So Paul Blart Mall Cop, I reckon, if you're not looking for something serious, not looking for something, you know, something, you're not looking too deep into it, you will enjoy it. It is quite a fun film. So moving on to Observe and Report. Out of the two, I think this is my favourite one. Another one that got bad press, but it's another. I think you expect too much from films nowadays, and that's why the critics hate these films. Also, people are getting fed up with Seth Rogen. I'm not. I love Seth Rogen, and I pretty much love everything he's been in. What this film does, it shows what Seth Rogen could be, and also shows Seth Rogen in his more, I don't know, he's more himself in this film. If you look at some of his early stand-up work, or you look at his early screeners, this shows Seth Rogen to who he really is. His kind of, you can't help but laugh at his jokes, but he can make you feel uncomfortable, and I think that's what this film does. It's not your average family film. I wouldn't recommend it for young kids. There's definitely a lot of twists in it, and there's definitely a lot of, you will be laughing, and then a bit later on in the film you'll think that's a bit deep, I don't think that's too funny. It's kind of, you know, it plays on you. You laugh at Seth Rogen, I think, because Seth Rogen is just funny and you constantly laugh at him, and then he goes one step further and it's a bit too dark and you can't laugh at it, and I think that's Seth Rogen's comedy summed up. If you look at his early screeners, he tells some jokes and you feel you shouldn't be laughing, but because he's just a funny person, you laugh at him.
Yes.
What?
It's clear that this pervert plans on coming back here and murdering Brandy.
Oh my god! Is that gonna happen?
It's gonna happen.
No, it's not gonna happen.
You gon' pay.
There is one thing that Observe and Report has that Paul Blart doesn't, and that's Ray Liotta. Ray Liotta plays a kind of cop figure, the real cop, and obviously gets in the way of Seth Rogen's character. A lot of people have said they didn't really like his character in it, but I thought it was okay, although there were parts in the film when I thought there was bits that maybe wasn't necessary. But like many things in this film, I think it was there to kind of confuse you, to make you feel uncomfortable, and so I think that's why it gets away with it for me. I think in this film there are many places where you do feel too awkward, and I just think that that's where they were going with this film. So Ray Liotta is another plus point for this film. If you like him, then you'll probably like it. I think the characters, Seth Rogen and Ray Liotta work brilliantly. There's a few key moments when you can see there's obviously some sort of ad-lib going on, and that's what I think Seth Rogen does best. I think one of the funniest things on this film could be when the DVD comes out, if they leave the outtake reels in. Like many of the extra Seth Rogen films, there's tons of ad-lib and tons of funny parts that they leave in these DVDs. So that's another plus point for Observe and Report.
This guy did it.
Well, what did he say?
I don't know, I don't speak Spanish.
Observe and Report, like Mall Cop, follows the same format of Seth Rogen wants to become a police officer but can't because of certain medical reasons. You find out later on what these medical reasons are, and explains a lot of his mood changes and his persona in certain scenes. It also has a love interest, whereas this film, the love interest Seth Rogen follows, it isn't as sort of straightforward as in Mall Cop. You sort of find out that maybe she's not the woman of his dreams. The one thing that lets this film down is definitely the ending. I think it goes one step too far. It may be the comedy that they intended it to, but I just think it's totally unreal. Now, these sort of films, Paul Blart Mall Cop could probably get away with it because it's not supposed to be taken seriously, whereas this film, because it's darker, I think should have had a more realistic ending. It just goes, I won't say what, but it just goes one step too far, and I just think it's really unrealistic in the end, and that ruined it for me. So, although Observe and Report is my favourite, mainly I think because I'm biased, I love Seth Rogen and I love everything he does, so that's probably where I'm biased to it. They could have worked on the ending a bit more. I didn't like the ending, and I think it just went a step too far and ruined most of the film for me. But I think what this film does, it shows what Seth Rogen could be, and shows his comedy to what it could be. I'd also love to see Seth Rogen in a film where maybe he does play more on the darker side rather than the comedic side. A bit like Robin Williams in 1 Hour Photo, that sort of thing. I do think Seth Rogen could have a career in the less comical and the more sinister side of film. So out of the two, They've both got their kind of ups and downs and their letdowns and their flaws. But I do recommend watching both and going with an empty head. Don't expect anything from it. Don't listen to what anyone has said, like the bad stuff, the good stuff, whatever. Go in, watch them. They are different films. You'll get different things from both of them. So they are definitely worth watching. Both Mall Cop and Observe and Report, they both have their good main characters, so I think they pull it through. Observe and Report went one step too far. I don't know if that's what it went for, but I think the ending let it down. If you're into the sort of family light-hearted side, then definitely Mall Cop. And if you want to feel a bit uncomfortable, then Observe and Report. They are similar, but they both got their own thing. So I'd recommend both of them. You might like them, you might not like them. It depends on your style of film. That's it. That's my review for Mall Cop and my review for Observe and Report. Cheers, thanks for watching, talk to you soon.